Was Camila's death foreshadowed long before it happened? Did we see a young Brian Moser from as early as episode 2? Was the Trinity Killer connected to Dexter's life long before they ever met? Dexter Original Sin is packed with references, symbolism, and foreshadowing. And in this video, I'm going to cover 10 hidden details you probably miss. The first detail is one I'm sure we all recognize. Nurse Mary may seem like just another hospital worker in Dexter Original Sin, but longtime fans know that she's much more. In the prequel, Nurse Mary appears as a seemingly kind caregiver, an angel of Mercy Hospital, where Harry Morgan is being treated for his heart problems. But Dexter quickly realizes something is off. His father's condition is worsening despite treatment, and Mary has a scrapbook filled with obituary clippings. Fans of the original series will recognize this moment as a direct callback to Dexter Season 1, where a flashback reveals Mary was an angel of death, an inescapable parallel to Dexter himself. She murdered patients under the guise of mercy, justifying her actions, much like Dexter would later justify his kills.
It was at that moment she revealed she also had a dark passenger.
When Dexter kills her, it is his first defining moment. The first time he gives in to the dark passenger. Unlike the cold, calculated murders he committed later, this one was messy and deeply personal. Taking her earrings as a trophy directly foreshadowed his bloodslide collection, marking the start of his ritual. This reinforced the weight of this moment, showing how his path had been set from the very beginning. Whilst I'm sure most of you got that detail, I'll be surprised if you got this next one. One of the most chilling hidden details in Dexter Original Sin is Brian Moser's subtle presence in the early episodes, even when the writers aren't trying to make it deliberately obvious. In Kid in a Candy Store, as Dexter investigates his first crime scene as an intern, we can see Brian in the background, standing unnoticed among the bystanders.
Get him a juice box to go with his lollipop.
There in the yellow hat, it's a blink and you miss it moment, but the implications are massive. It shows us that long before Dexter became aware of his brother's existence, Brian had already been studying him, tracking his movements, and getting close enough to understand the man he was separated from as a child. But that's not the only time we see him in episode 2. Later in the episode, while Dexter is at a restaurant with Masuka, Bobby, and Batista, someone approaches him.
Anyone sitting here?
Yeah, I'm saving these seats for my friends. Sorry.
It's his brother again, quietly integrating himself into Dexter's life without his knowledge. This hidden detail mirrors the original series, where Brian, as the ice truck killer, stalks Dexter from the shadows, deliberately leaving dismembered bodies as messages to awaken his repressed past. The fact that Original Sin plants these early hints so subtly adds a new layer of depth to their connection. It wasn't fate that reunited them, it was Brian's obsession with finding his long-lost brother. It's a sinister, yet oddly tragic detail that makes their inevitable reunion feel even more haunting. I didn't know the man in the yellow hat was Brian Moser. Did you? If you did, I guarantee that you didn't get this next one. One of the most chilling Easter eggs in Dexter Original Sin is a moment where Dexter stumbles upon an old case file containing the name Vicki Noonan, a name that might not stand out at first, but carries a deep connection to Dexter Season 4's Trinity Killer, Arthur Mitchell. Vicki Noonan was one of Trinity's earliest victims, killed in 1979 in a bathtub, a pattern that continued for decades. What makes this reference so unsettling is that Dexter doesn't realize the significance of the case he's looking at. To him, it's just another cold case, but for fans, it's a haunting nod to the monster he will one day face.
So many killers still on the street.
The scene subtly foreshadows Trinity's reign of terror and Dexter's eventual battle with him in the original series. By placing Vicki Noonan's name in Original Sin, the show's creators cleverly weave in the idea that Trinity was already active, long before Dexter even began his path as a killer. It adds weight to the moment, suggesting that the forces that will one day change Dexter's life forever are already lurking in the shadows. It's a small detail that many may have overlooked, but it serves as a chilling bit of foreshadowing, seamlessly tying Dexter's past, present, and future together in a beautifully crafted way, and they take it even further with this next one. The next hidden detail is Dexter's fake ID name, Patrick Bateman, a nod to American Psycho and a callback to a moment when he nearly got caught in the original series. In episode 3, a young Dexter needs a fake ID to sneak into a party. He turns to Vince Masuka, who, with his usual smug confidence, calls himself the Da Vinci of identity fraud. Masuka quickly forges an ID for Dexter, listing his name as Patrick Bateman, age 24. While this moment plays off as a casual joke, the more observant of you will recognize the alias. It's the same one Dexter later uses in the original series when buying M99, the animal tranquilizer he uses on his victims.
What do you need this for, Patrick Bateman?
Whilst it's a clever reference to another fictional killer, it also serves as an explanation for a tense moment in Season 1 of the original series. When Masuka investigates the toxicology report on Valerie Castillo's body, he finds traces of M99, a substance that isn't easy to come by. He requests a list of authorized buyers, which include Patrick Bateman, the fake ID Dexter now uses to purchase M99. Suddenly, he faces a terrifying possibility. Masuka might remember giving him the fake ID. Dexter, however, managed to delete his name from the list. The reveal suggests that Dexter's use of the Patrick Bateman alias wasn't just a throwaway reference. It was a name that he had relied on since his early years, and his choice makes sense. Like Bateman, Dexter seamlessly blends into society, but in an ironic twist, the very name that once kept him hidden nearly led to his downfall. Much like this next detail, where the ice truck killer makes a return. The next hidden detail is another reference to Dexter's brother, the ice truck killer. In episode 6, The Joy of Killing, Dexter walks through the streets of Miami when an ice delivery truck honks at him, momentarily startling him. The moment is brief, but the significance is undeniable. Most of you would immediately recognize the reference to Brian Moser, aka the ice truck killer, who stalked Dexter in his infamous refrigerated truck. In the original show, Brian uses the truck to transport dismembered bodies, taunting Dexter with gruesome crime scenes meant to awaken his repressed instincts. This truck becomes a symbol of Dexter's past, one he didn't even know existed. By including this ice truck moment in Original Sin, the showrunners planned a subtle but powerful Easter egg, hinting that Brian is already lurking in Dexter's story, even if he hadn't revealed himself yet. There's a lot of interesting stuff about Brian that I couldn't fit into this video, so if you want to see a separate video on Brian and Original Sin, make sure to let me know, and subscribe if you're enjoying the videos so far. One of the most debatable Easter eggs in Dexter Original Sin comes in the form of a throwaway joke from Deborah. Deb's best friend, Sophia, takes an interest in Dexter, and Deb gives him advice on what to wear.
Guys in plaid make Sophia wet. Some kind of weird lumberjack fetish she has going on.
Guys in plaid, some kind of weird lumberjack fetish going on. At first, this line seems like just another classic Deb one-liner, but for the more perceptive of you, it holds a much deeper and almost cruel significance. In the series finale, after faking his death, Dexter is last seen living in isolation as a lumberjack, far removed from the life he once had in Miami. This ending, which was wildly criticized by fans, showed Dexter in a rugged plaid shirt, staring lifelessly into the distance, burdened by the weight of his choices. This joke may be a subtle reference to Dexter's fate in the original series, making Deb's word even more haunting in hindsight. Wonder how many of you caught that one though? Let me know in the comments. Of course, don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying the videos so far. Miguel Prado's mention is another nice Easter egg the writers include. In a brief yet telling scene, LaGuerta casually mentions that she's dating a rising star in Miami's legal world, Miguel Prado. She even jokingly remarks that she thinks he's going to be a district attorney one day.
Yeah, well, he's delusional. Thinks he's gonna be DA someday.
This is clear foreshadowing of Miguel's eventual rise to DA in Dexter Season 3. In the original series, Miguel Prado becomes one of Dexter's most dangerous and manipulative allies, a high-ranking official who, much like Dexter, believes that justice should be carried out outside the law. His relationship with LaGuerta in Original Sin adds a new context to their interaction in the original show. It suggests that they had a deeper history, making LaGuerta's defense of Miguel's actions in Season 3 more personal than previously thought. This little detail not only strengthens the continuity between the two series, but also foreshadows Miguel's political ambition early on. A similar connection is made by linking Dexter and Camila. One of the most cleverly crafted Easter eggs in the series is the boat Slice of Pie, which belongs to Camila, a character from the original series. This small detail carries a dual meaning, both foreshadowing Dexter's future as the Bay Harbor Butcher and serving as a heartfelt nod to one of the most bittersweet moments in Dexter's history. Longtime fans will immediately recognize the slice of pie as a replica of Dexter's infamous boat, Slice of Life, which he later used to dispose of his victims' remains. In Original Sin, Aaron Spencer became the first person Dexter killed and dumped overboard, wrapped in a bag, marking the beginning of a ritual that defined his double life. Before acquiring the Slice of Life, Dexter initially buried bodies or left them in remote locations, but Original Sin showed the moment he discovered a more effective method. Just as his real boat later became a crucial tool in covering up his crimes, the first kill at sea set the stage for the ritual that shaped his future. But that's not all. Slice of Pie is also a touching callback to Camila's final moments in Season 3 of the original series. As she faced terminal illness, her last request to Dexter was for a perfect slice of key lime pie, a rare instance where he was able to give someone a true moment of kindness. Tying this memory back to the boat's name adds a layer of nostalgia, blending Dexter's two worlds, the warm human connections he struggles to maintain, and the darker urges that define him. In episode 8, Laura Moser is shown painting her fingernails different colors while spending time with Dexter and Brian. This small detail carries significant weight, as it's another Easter egg to the original series. In the original series, Brian Moser, later revealed to be the ice truck killer, recreates this pattern by painting the nails of a severed hand he leaves as a clue for the police. The hand, originally belonging to a murdered prostitute, becomes a key piece of evidence in the ice truck killer case. Brian's obsession with this detail stems from childhood trauma, witnessing their mother's brutal murder. The multicolored nails serves as a twisted tribute to Laura, representing how he clings to their past. By including this subtle moment, Original Sin deepens Brian's character and strengthens the connection between the prequel and the original series. It's another example of how the writers cleverly weave past and present together, and it was one that I was quite happy to spot. The final hidden detail in this video appears in episode 9, where a fleeting background element seems to reference Chromatopia. But this may not have been intentional. During a scene in the shipping yard, where characters are searching for Laura Moser and her two kids, a Chromatopia poster can be briefly spotted in the background. It appears for only a split second, blending into the set design so seamlessly that most viewers wouldn't even notice it. I thought this may have been a clever Easter egg, especially considering Chromatopia is linked to Tyler, the creator's latest album. However, given the context of the scene and the period Dexter Original Sin is set in, this detail likely wasn't meant to be a direct reference. It's much more likely it was just a production oversight, perhaps a modern poster that wasn't meant to be. And that's 10 hidden details in Dexter Original Sin. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video about every time Dexter almost got caught.